They found the body at dawn, just off Route 89. No wallet, no ID, just a single key in his pocket and a name carved into the tree beside him. Not written, carved, like a warning or a message. The police didn't know who he was for 3 days. Then a photo went viral. A man in a blue coat, smiling at a gas station. His eyes looked haunted even then, but no one noticed, not until it was too late. This isn't just a missing person case, it's a pattern, one that started years ago. In quiet towns across the Midwest, men vanish without a trace, no signs of struggle, no ransom calls, just silence. And sometimes a key, small brass ones, left behind like breadcrumbs or trophies. Families beg for answers. Law enforcement hits dead ends until now. Because this time, someone talked, and what they said changes everything. We're not dealing with a lone killer, we're facing something older, darker, built on secrets buried deep, and it's still active, still hunting. This story began in a small Iowa town, population 2,147, tucked between cornfields and forgotten highways, the kind of place where everyone knows your name and your business, even if you don't want them to. That's where Daniel Reeves lived. He worked at the grain elevator, 6 days a week. Rain or shine, quiet man, kept to himself, lived in a rented house near the tracks, paint peeling, roof sagging, but clean, always clean. Neighbors said he smiled, rarely, but when he did, it didn't reach his eyes. Something haunted him. Everyone sensed it, but no one asked. Daniel had a routine. Up at 5. Coffee black. Walked to work by 6. Home by 7, microwave dinner, bed by 9, every day, same time, like clockwork, except Thursdays. On Thursdays, he left after dark, drove west, down County Road 17. No one knew where he went, no one followed, until the week he didn't come back. That Thursday, he never returned home. His truck sat idle in the driveway, keys on the kitchen table. Dinner uneaten, coffee cold. The next morning, his boss called. No call, no text. Not like Daniel. Deputy Mallory took the report. Young, new to the county, fresh out of training. She drove to Daniel's house, knocked, no answer. Door unlocked, she entered. House spotless, bed made, shoes lined up, but Daniel gone. No note, no sign of forced entry. Nothing broken, nothing missing. Except Daniel, nothing missing. Except Daniel. She checked his phone records. Last call, 2 weeks prior, to a number unlisted. Duration, 3 minutes. No texts, no emails, nothing else. She ran his name through databases. Clean, no warrants, no debts, no criminal history. Just a man, living quietly, vanished without a sound. She dug deeper, talked to neighbors, co-workers, friends, if he had any. Most said the same thing. He kept to himself. One woman recalled seeing him once at the library, reading old newspapers, obituaries. Specifically, she remembered because it felt strange. Why read obits of people you never knew? Another neighbor mentioned a box under Daniel's bed, locked. She saw it once when helping change a tire, said it looked military, sturdy, heavy, with a faded sticker. She couldn't read it, but it looked like an eagle or an anchor. Mallory requested a search warrant. Judge approved. She opened the box. Inside, photos, dozens, all of men, different ages, different clothes, but same look, eyes hollow, smiles forced. Each photo had a date and a location, scrawled on the back, some as far back as 1998, all from small towns, Midwest, same pattern. Man disappears, found later, dead, he in pocket, carved name nearby. The last photo was of Daniel himself, taken recently, date on back, 2 weeks before he vanished. Location, County Road 17, near the old water tower. He'd taken his own picture before he died. Mallory's hands shook. This wasn't random. Daniel knew. He was documenting something, tracking someone, or something. She pulled files on the other cases, found similarities. All victims were men, ages 35 to 55, worked manual labor, lived alone, no close family, all vanished on Thursdays, always, and all had keys, brass, simple design, like hardware store keys, but no lock ever found, no door, no safe, nothing they fit, just the keys, left behind, like calling cards. She mapped the locations, over 20 years, formed a spiral, centered on one town, Red Falls, population, 0, abandoned since 1983, coal mine collapsed, whole town evacuated, never rebuilt. Now just ruins and trees, lots of trees. She drove there, found the first carved name from 1985, James Kellerman. Below it, a key, rusted, buried shallow. She dug it up, took it to a locksmith. He examined it, took it to a locksmith. He examined it. It's for a locker, he said. Old style, railroad or military. Pre-1970s, Mallory searched National Archives, found a match, a decommissioned VA facility in Nebraska, closed in 1971, used during the Vietnam War, for soldiers with adjustment disorders, code for PTSD, but the records were sealed. By order of the Department of Defense, she hit a wall. Then a tip came in. Anonymous, mail, no return address. Inside, a photograph of a room, concrete walls, metal chairs, straps on arms, a man in a white coat, standing over a patient. Caption below, they called it therapy, handwritten. On the back, Project Stillwater. She'd never heard of it. Searched online. Nothing. Called VA offices. Denied knowledge. Then she found a former nurse. Retired. Name, Eleanor Pryce. Retired. Name, Eleanor Pryce. Lived in Wisconsin. Agreed to talk, only in person. Mallory drove 6 hours. Met her in a diner. Old woman, back straight, eyes sharp. She didn't smile. "I shouldn't be doing this," she said. "They'll come for me." "Who?" Mallory asked. "The keepers." She sipped coffee. "Hands steady." Stillwater wasn't therapy, it was control. They selected soldiers, after combat, brought them to the facility for reconditioning. "What does that mean?" Mallory said. They erased memories. Not all, just the traumatic ones, but trauma shapes identity. Remove it, and you create a hollow man, a perfect follower. No fear, no guilt, no past. They called them clean slates. Mallory felt sick. How? Drugs, electroshock, and a device inserted behind the ear. Looked like a hearing aid, but it sent pulses to specific brain regions. Suppressed emotion, enhanced obedience. It worked too well. Some patients became unstable, catatonic, violent. One killed 3 staff members. In silence, no rage, no expression. Just action, just action. They shut it down. Just action. Destroyed records, scattered the patients, sent them to halfway houses, or released them. Patients catatonic, quote, violent. 1 killed 3 staff members. No support, no follow-up. 1 killed 3 staff members. Removed. Eleanor shook her head. They couldn't remove them. Too deep. Risked brain damage. So they deactivated them, or so they thought. But some kept working. Low power, intermittent signals, triggering episodes. Years later, Mallory thought of Daniel, the photos, the dates, the keys. "You're saying these men are reactivating," Eleanor said. "Maver." The signal returns. From somewhere, a transmitter, hidden, sending pulses, waking the protocol. "What protocol?" "Termination." Her voice dropped. "When the device activates, it gives one command: eliminate the weak and mark the site with a key and a name." "Why keys?" Mallory whispered. "They used lockers at the facility. Each patient had one, for personal items. When a subject failed, they took their key as record. Now the killers do the same, taking a key from each victim, returning to the origin, to plant it, where it began." Mallory stood. "We need to find the transmitter." Eleanor nodded. "But it's not in Nebraska." The signal moved. "Follow the spiral. The center, Red Falls, that's where they tested it, before the facility, in the woods, near the mine. They built a bunker, underground, for field trials. It's still there. Power source unknown. But if it's active, it's broadcasting." Mallory drove back, contacted federal agents, told them everything. They laughed. "Cold case conspiracy. Retired nurse with dementia. Not enough evidence." She went alone. To Red Falls, found the mine entrance, boarded up, chain locked. She broke in, flashlight beam cutting dust, air thick, smelling of wet stone. She descended. Rusty ladder, creaking under weight, 50 feet down. Tunnel stretched ahead, walls damp, graffiti faded. Then she saw it. A metal door, set into rock. No handle, just a keypad, numbers worn. She tried dates, 1971, no, 1983. Click, door opened. Inside, a control room, dusty, wires hanging, monitors dark, but one machine hummed, low, steady, green light blinking. She approached. Label on front, Stillwater transmitter, Model 7, status, active, signal strength, 68%, range, 50 miles. She found logs, 68%, range, 150 miles, Bodie, Arv. Dates, locations, matches, every victim marked as cleansed, including Daniel Reeves, last transmission, sent Thursday. Target, Daniel Reeves, execution confirmed. Next target pending. She looked around, found a panel, labeled deactivation. She flipped the switch. Machine whined. Light turned red, then off. Silence, she exhaled. Thought it was over. Then the lights flickered. Cameras turned. Wraith, just who? one by one. Red dots glowing, watching. A speaker crackled, voice automated, mail, flat, protocol interrupted, security breach detected, containment failure, initiate purge, alarms blared, doors slammed shut. She ran, back through the tunnel, ladder shaking, reached the surface, collapsed onto grass, gasping, looked back, dark hole, silent, but she knew it wasn't over. The machine was down, but the men weren't cured. The damage was done. And the program? It had backups, other transmitters, hidden elsewhere. She reported it again. Feds finally listened. Sent a team, sealed the bunker, confirmed the tech. Ancient, but functional. Powered by geothermal cells. Self-sustaining. They dismantled it. Posted guards, promised investigation. But Mallory wasn't convinced. She kept the key. From the first grave, carried it in her pocket, a reminder. Months passed, no new victims. She hoped it was truly over. Then a letter arrived, no return address. Inside, a new photo of a man, smiling, standing in a grocery store. Date stamp, last week, location, Idaho. Written below, cycle restarts. And a key, taped to the page, brass, rusted. Not from Red Falls, rusted, not from Red Falls. Different shape, she ran it. Matched a facility in Montana, closed in 1969. Another test site. Stillwater had branches, more than one, or something was turning them back on. She contacted every lawman she knew, shared the data, built a network. Watch groups formed, families of victims organized. They called themselves the Keepers of Light. Not to hide, but to warn, to watch, to remember. Because the truth? It wasn't just about mad science or government experiments. It was about what we do to broken people. We don't heal them, we erase them, we silence them, we send them away and forget until they come back, changed, haunted, driven by ghosts we created. Daniel Reeves wasn't a monster. He was a soldier who came home and found no home. So he fought the only war he knew until the end. And he left a trail, not of violence, but of truth. His photos, his notes, his courage led to answers, real ones, not cover-ups, not denials, but proof that evil doesn't always wear a mask. Sometimes it wears a lab coat and calls itself progress. We have to ask, what are we building today? What programs? What technologies? What technologies? What fixes for the human mind that might become weapons tomorrow? Because the past isn't dead, it's sleeping, and it remembers. We found more bunkers, 3 so far, all deactivated, more suspected. We're searching not just for machines, but for survivors, the ones still out there, walking among us, not knowing why they feel empty, why certain sounds trigger panic, why they wake up with dirt on their shoes. And no memory. If you know someone who fits this pattern, call the National Trauma Archive. They're compiling records, offering free screenings, no judgment, no stigma, just help. And if you've made it this far, if this story stayed with you, subscribe and like, not for views, but so this truth keeps spreading, because silence is how it starts. And speaking up, that's how it ends.